LBC News.
12:25. Good afternoon, Nick Qureshi here. There has been a suggestion today that having separate social media platforms for adults and children might make the internet safer. The recommendation has come from the coroner leading the inquest into the death of teenager Molly Russell. She died after looking at content linked to anxiety and depression online. Let's get the thoughts, shall we, of the founder of the Ripple Suicide Prevention Charity, Alice Hendy. Very good to have you to talk to us on LBC News today. Can I start by asking what you make of this recommendation from the coroner to separate the social media platforms for adults and children?
Hi, Nick. I think it could potentially work. However, that is not to say that we can avoid any safeguarding issues on adult sites, because it is still very much a problem for adults as well as children. And there is still some very harmful material that adults are struggling with in equal measure as young people are every day. So something needs to be done on the whole of social media, not just separating it and segregating it out. I think it needs to be much wider than that.
Yeah, and it's going to take a long time, one would think, to implement it, and even police, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the moment, you've got anonymous accounts cropping up on a daily basis. There is really harmful material that is being posted and not taken down anywhere near quick enough. And you've got lots and lots of problems with bullying, harassment, stalking, inappropriate photographs. You name it, it all happens on social media. It can be great for a number of things, but unfortunately there is a very dark world to social media and indeed the internet as a whole.
Do you think social media companies are doing, and the tech giants are doing enough? Well, certainly they've made inroads, haven't they? But from what you seem to be saying, it's not enough and not quickly enough.
They've made a start. There is a bit of a tick box exercise job going on at the moment with a lot of these social media companies. Yes, they've put some precautionary measures in place, but in my personal opinion, it's absolutely nowhere near enough. And a lot more needs to be done to protect our young people from this content, but also, as I mentioned earlier, adults as well.
Now, Molly Russell, of course, took her own life after viewing so much content about suicide online. Is this still a major problem now?
It's a huge problem. From my own personal experience, I have also experienced this with my brother. I had a little brother called Josh. He was 21 years old. He was looking at ways and means to go about ending his life on the internet and was provided with instructions, tips, and so on to help him make his decision. So I know firsthand how Ian Russell and his family feel after losing Molly, and we're angry. We're all angry at the internet and social media companies that sadly don't realise the extent and the damage that they are causing to a number of people on a daily basis.
What answers have you been given by people? You've clearly been searching for them. Are you satisfied in any way by the responses you're getting?
I'm not satisfied at all. I think at the moment there's a level of arrogance with social media companies in particular, because they're so big that they don't feel like it's appropriate for them to listen and actually hear about what's going on the ground. And it's families like mine, it's families like Molly Rose Russell's family that they need to be having conversations with in order to make these platforms safer for everybody, so that other families out there don't wake up in the morning and feel how our families do.
So what is the answer? How can we clamp down on these tech giants and make them do more?
I think one of the key things that tech giants and indeed businesses, schools, colleges, universities could do is to actually download Ripple. Ripple is my charity. It's a free piece of tech. And once downloaded, it means that if anybody was to conduct online searches to do with the topic of self-harm or suicide, the technology, Ripple technology, would actually pop up and instead provide that person with a message of hope that things would get better and signpost them to a selection of mental health resources that they can access both now and in the longer term. It doesn't track, it doesn't monitor any other details at all other than signposting people to a different route than some of the harmful content that Molly Rose and indeed my brother was looking at.
Seems quite a sensible solution, but it seems you got your work cut out to make any progress.
Yeah, I think so. The charity itself has got a huge amount of traction since we launched on World Suicide Prevention Day last year. We've now intercepted over 4,500 genuine harmful online searches. And even though we don't track or monitor any personally identifiable information, we've had 24 people approach us directly to tell us that this technology has saved their life and that they are still here because Ripple intercepted them at their most vulnerable point. It's a really simple solution and, you know, a free piece of software that people can install that can make a life-saving difference.
And you must be fed up and of course upset bringing it all back to you. The fact that you got these plans in place, but you're facing a brick wall, I suppose.
Yes, and I think really it goes back to the arrogance of these organisations. They're multi-billion-pound companies, and in comparison, I'm a grieving sister. So it takes a lot for them to listen, but I do believe that Ripple is now getting the traction that it deserves. It is starting to save lives, and eventually I'm hoping that I'll be heard.
Well, let's hope so. Thank you very much. It's always very painful, isn't it, for you to relive what's happened. But let's hope that your recommendations are taken on board. And like you say, Ripple is taken more seriously than perhaps it has been. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Thanks, Nick.